the family of our departed leader and mother. But then again, the families of Malangabi, Skweyiya, Makamu, Mkwanazi, Rankin, Mqikela, Idrisu, Mkabela, Hlophe, Mofu, Mkacha, the collective Nokwe family. The Secretary General of the African National Congress and the leadership of the ANC at national executive level, at provincial executive level here in Gauteng, at regional executive level, and indeed at regional level. The leadership of our alliance, COSATU, the SACP, and SANCO, the leadership of the various leagues of the African National Congress who are here present, ministers and deputy ministers, and members of parliament, the stalwarts of our movement, is the Twalandwe, who are here with us, sitting right here in front, Mamu Sophie, Babu Ben, no Mamu Mildred, is the Twalandwe, the African National Congress. Members of the legal fraternity, religious and community leaders, and comrades and friends, I greet you all in the name of our Republic at this Category 2 official funeral. Today is a solemn occasion. It is a day of both sadness and joy. It is a homecoming of one of our own, one of the finest sons of our country, who gave everything for the liberation of the people of South Africa. So today we gather here not just to remember a name, but to celebrate a life. In fact, to celebrate two lives. Lives that helped to shape the cause of our nation. We're here to honor Dumalisile Nokwe rather, no Mama Unokwe. Our leader, Duma Nokwe, was a man of brilliance, of great integrity, and of unshakable conviction. He was elected Secretary General of the African National Congress in 1959 during its 46th annual conference held in Durban. He was the youngest Secretary General of the ANC ever elected. Fikile Mbalula always thinks that he is the youngest ever to have been elected. And he thinks because of his youthful look and the way he walks with a bump, we will always recognize him as having been the youngest. SG Duma Nokwe was elected Secretary General of this glorious organization when he was 30 years old. When I was so Duma Nokwe, a leader, a brother, a comrade in arms, and an umkhonto wesizwe. We welcome you home. We are here to receive you as your comrades, as your compatriots to the free South Africa of your dreams. We inter you at your final resting place alongside your beloved wife, Umama Uvuyiswa Malangabi Nokwe. Today is not as we would have wished it to be. We would have wished to receive you home in life. We would have wanted to be there in our great numbers as you stepped down from the aeroplane at O.R. Tambo International on South African soil. Yet we cannot turn history's tide. We cannot erase the great indignity to which you were subjected, taking your last breath in exile far away from home, to which you could not return. The poet Breitenbach called exile the elsewhere that cannot be reached. And so you became what Dennis Brutus described as the wanderer, exiled twice, from land and then from time. Duma Nokwe passed away in exile, as we heard, in Lusaka in 1978. He never got to set foot on the soil of a liberated, democratic South Africa. Many, many more of our brave men and women were pursued, they were persecuted, and hunted down by those who had exiled them. Others were tortured and killed and buried in unmarked graves in foreign lands. The ANC, working together with our government, is at work to bring them back home, because they must be brought home. This is their home. Advocate Duma Nokwe, you have returned to your people in the quiet dignity of death. You bring with you the spirits of our many other fallen heroes. As we pay tribute to you today, we honor them as well. They were denied the right to return in life, but today we break their exile and inter their spirits in the land for which they gave their all. Duma Nokwe dedicated his life to the liberation of our country from the tyranny of apartheid. He was a youth activist who rose to become the Secretary General of the African National Congress. And as Secretary General, he played a pivotal role in mobilizing our communities against apartheid and strengthening the ANC's organizational capacity. His leadership was marked by resilience in the face of state repression, including arrests, banning orders, and the infamous treason trial. Secretary General Duma Nokwe helped give life to one of the most powerful declarations in our history, the Freedom Charter. This year we celebrate 70 years of that outstanding document that fired up many in our country. He stood for justice, not just in law books, but in the lives of ordinary South Africans. He organized, he mobilized, and when the state came for him, in the infamous treason trial, he stood firm, undaunted, unwavering, and proud. In January 1963, under increasing pressure from the apartheid regime, he was directed by the ANC's underground leadership to leave South Africa. In exile, he continued his activism, notably serving as the ANC's Director of International Relations, where he advocated for the anti-apartheid cause on global platforms. Third, the silk status of senior counsel on Advocate Duma Nokwe. We have brought with us the certificate to hand over to the family. I will ask my legal advisor, Advocate Nogukanya Jele, to have it in hand so that we can hand it over to the family when I finish. In doing so, we are correcting a grave injustice done to one of our foremost legal practitioners. We are making a declaration that his legacy did not end in exile, nor does it end today. He will from now on be referred to as Duma Nokwe, SC, standing for Senior Counsel. We are confirming our belief in his conviction that the law is to be used not merely to secure courtroom victories, but to achieve profound, lasting change. In court, Duma Nokwe was an advocate for justice. Outside the court, in the streets of our nation, in the capitals of the world, he was a respected and beloved advocate for freedom. His voice, empathetic, compelling, and sincere, resonated as powerfully through the halls of the United Nations as it did across the airwaves of Radio Freedom, as we heard. He wielded his words as instruments of liberation. He sought to persuade, to empower, and to inspire with his words, his prowess, and his ability to convince. As a person, as an activist, as a leader, he was known for his humility and understanding, for his integrity and unyielding commitment to the cause of humanity. Duma Nokwe is remembered as a brilliant legal mind, a dedicated revolutionary, and a symbol of dignity and resistance. In post-apartheid South Africa, his contributions are honored in both legal and political spheres. The Duma Nokwe group of advocates and several other legal bursaries have been named after him, recognizing the man that he was. As he returns to the soil from which he was born, let us embrace all that Duma Nokwe represented and embodied. At this time, when we strive to make a fundamental break with the many ghosts of our past, let us hold to the values that defined him and that make us so unique as a people: courage, empathy, understanding, and tolerance. We still have many more journeys to undertake as a nation. Our freedom is not yet fully formed. As we have often said, the 27th of April 1994 represented just a breakthrough. It gave us a moment to be on the beach, on the beachhead. It was a beachhead moment. Much more still needs to be done to enable our people to attain the true freedom that Duma Nokwe struggled and suffered for. Let us affirm that as South Africans, we are all of the same soil, and that we will never renege on the promise of equality, justice, and freedom for all, as promised by our Constitution. And we will continue to build a South Africa in which no one, neither black nor white, neither woman nor man, feels themselves a pariah in the land of their birth, or feels that acts of genocide are being perpetrated against them, because there is no such. We owe this to the spirit and to the legacy of the great Duma Nokwe, who stood for non-racialism throughout his life, who stood for justice, who stood for equity and fairness. Like many of his time, he cherished a dream he never got to see fulfilled. It is incumbent, therefore, on us, the living, to ensure that the legacy of Duma Nokwe continues to live. And I would like to thank those in the legal profession, the Duma Nokwe group, and bursary funds that have been named after him, and indeed many, many other places that have been named after him. I'd like to thank them for keeping not only his name alive, but his legacy and the work that he did alive. May his spirit rise. May it guide us in the hard work that still lies ahead for our country and our people. And may his spirit and his work continue to inspire us. Duma Nokwe was a true revolutionary, and he was a servant of the people. He was a man of unwavering principle, of great courage, and of unmatched selfishness. As we honor him today, let us rededicate ourselves to fulfilling his dream of a non-racial, non-sexist South Africa that will forever remain democratic and free. I'd like to pay tribute and great gratitude to his family, his very big family that stood here, in the way that they continue to carry the Nokwe name high up. We honor you and we thank you, because as you hold his name high up, you hold the ideals that he stood for high up. And we, as the government of the government of the Republic of South Africa, we thank you. And indeed, in the memorials that were held earlier, the Secretary General also thanked you as a family for continuing to do so. So we honor you and we say to our stalwart, Eno Mama Nokwe, lalani kahle, Mkhonto, rest in peace. Your name and your work will always be remembered, as it always will continue to inspire us. I thank you all.
Nalu loyiso likasijekula sikasibewu uselwa kulandelwa uhenqe ubhinqele ehlangene umancoba isijekula ngokwaso esikangqongqothwana nasi siza siphila phakathi kwenu yingwe kaloku yakuthi kaloku le yoyisile kumazango amazwe ngungqongqothwane lo kubhinqele ehlangene lo kumancoba lo kumjalo kuhenqwa lo limiye lihleli nansi namhlanje siyazinca silusapho lonke lakwagcwanile lakwasibewu sithi emhlabeni xa usebenza kakuhle uba khona umvuzo singamanqina sonke sile ngenginya sibona uchulumanco phakathi kwabantu sithi into oyeyenza ngoku nizala iziqhamo alala gcwanini alala sibewu alala salwa kulandelwa alala ngqongqothwane siyabulela ndithi ncencelile makube njalo
It's all right, doesn't matter. We're ready now.
I'll use the president. Yeah. Thank you. It is.
Okay.
Now this thing.